from Clark.
What's good, YouTube? Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you can be reminded anytime I drop a video. Also want to shout out to all my new subscribers. I appreciate y'all coming to my page and hitting that subscribe button. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. So this is season 12, episode 5. So the episode pretty much starts off with Cynthia Bailey basically sending everybody invites to her annual Bailey Q. Of course, we know Cynthia started the Bailey Q at her lake house last season. And it's basically a barbecue for all the girls to come together. Potluck style, they all gonna bring something. And the theme is to wear red or you will get red. R-E-A-D. Everybody's invited, but you cannot bring your kids and you cannot bring Nene Leak's ass. So that's what the first scene pretty much talks about. She's on the phone with Porsha. Porsha, of course, still doesn't have a nanny, so she's contemplating if she's even going to be able to come and things like that. So of course, the scene moves on with Porsha and Kenya. They meet up, kind of have this like mother-daughter play date, and they're at like this like new mother workout session where it's kind of something light for new mothers to come with their newborns to kind of work out and not have to find a sitter. So Portia's kind of twerking and things while they're working out. Kenya's taking it a little bit more serious, but Porsha eventually walks out of the workout session because I think she has to change her baby or feed the baby, something along the line with the baby. So of course, after so long, Kenya leaves the workout session too to go check up on Porsha. And when she goes to check on Porsha, the kids kind of play around a little bit. Kenya mentioned that her baby Brooklyn is obsessed with other kids and she's so intelligent and wants to know so much about other babies and things like that. Now, Porsha baby is more of a newborn. I think her baby's like 3 or 4 months at this time. Could be a lot younger, but her baby kind of just sits there and look just like her daddy, like not Tanya, but Eva said, it looks just like Dennis with a bow. But anyway, while they're sitting and connecting, Kenya kind of mentions that her relationship is kind of on a struggle bus right now. She mentions to Porsha, even though we already know that she's on a struggle bus relationship, but she's now informing Porsha of what's going on. And she tells Porsha that her and her husband, Mark Daly, are not making love. They're not being intimate with each other. Of course, we know they have a long distance relationship. And Porsha kind of feels for Kenya because she is also in a difficult relationship right now with the father of her new child. Now, of course, it's not the same issue. Kenya is married to Mark, and he doesn't want to be intimate with her. And Porsha was engaged to Dennis, and he wants to be intimate with everybody else. So they in a hardship relationship, but it's totally different. But it allows them to stay bonded and connected with each other. So Porsha, of course, can feel for Kenya in this aspect. And I like to see their relationship kind of grow and develop. But we're going to move on to Kandi and her husband, Todd. They're kind of, but they're dropping Kandi's daughter, Riley, off in her new high-rise apartment in New York City for her internship. We know Riley is destined to become a lawyer. Kandi has mentioned it so many times the last couple of years on this show and also on her Instagram and things like that. We know Riley is taking trips all over the world. I follow Kandi, so I see this myself, but Kandi mentions that Riley's going all over the world, even to London for internships to become this great, I think she said an entertainment lawyer, or she's shadowing Kandi's entertainment lawyer. Somebody drop down in the comment section and correct me. But I think it's really good that Kandi is able to afford her daughter these type of opportunities. And like I said in my last video, Kandi and Todd, they have different parenting styles. Kandi, because she has worked so hard to build a what's the word I'm looking for? She worked so hard to build a lifestyle, a promising financial lifestyle for her family. She doesn't feel the need for Riley to have to struggle and go through having to get a job and things like that while she's a teenager. Todd, on the other hand, doesn't feel that his daughter Kayla should be spoiled. He wants her to go out there and work hard and struggle and understand the value of a dollar. But Kandi don't think that's necessary. If you got it, bless your kids with it. You can't take it home. I mean, you can't take it with you in the grave, so why not share your wealth with your family and friends and the people that you love, which I totally agree. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Do you think it's necessary for black people to continue to go through this I'm gonna say narrative because I can't find a word, but black people, we struggle with wanting our kids to struggle because we had to struggle. Now, let's get rid of that mentality. If you have the means to allow your family and kids to have a lifestyle to where they don't gotta struggle and work hard, then allow them to live a happy, free life. Life is short. What's the motivation behind teaching somebody a lesson to work hard if you literally don't have to? You can show them other ways to, have financial and long-term wealth without breaking a damn back or mentality. I know if I was... Anyways, I'm gonna move on. So the episode moves on with Marlo and Nene. And of course, last episode, Nene walked out on Marlo because Marlo was basically getting Nene ass together, telling her she needs to be the bigger person and admit her wrong in this whole Cynthia Bailey and Nene dispute. Now, she's not trying to take sides, but she is definitely being a realist, and she knows both girls play a part in the situation, and she just wants them to come together and be in a better place because she's cool with Cynthia and she's cool with Nene, so she wants them to all be able to be in a better place. But Nene's not trying to hear all that. She thinks that she doesn't owe any of these girls apologies. If anything, they should apologize to her, so she's not backing down from how she feels. While they're discussing and going back and forth, the doorbell rings, and it is Ivana, the girl from Clark from last season. I think she was drunk or something when she came around the girls, but she's Nene's friend, and apparently she met up with Cynthia at Cynthia's winery cellar, or whatever you want to call it, about 2 months ago. And while they were talking, Cynthia was pretty much letting Ivana from Clark know that her and Nene are not on good terms, and Nene is basically a toxic friend. So of course Ivana is coming back with all this information and giving it to Nene and Marlo, and this just allows Nene to go along with this narrative expressing how Cynthia is just a wolf in sheep's clothing, and we're gonna all see it come to light. So they're just going with that narrative. It was pretty much a boring scene. I was excited to see a new face on the screen, a new face to this season. Of course, we know Ivana was there last season on a couple of episodes, but it was cool to see her come back on this episode. So after they talk or whatever,
want to sit and talk to me about my job all day. Bitch, go watch the baby.
So the next thing, basically Porsha's still looking for a nanny with her mother. Now when I say Porsha's mom is fine like wine, period. Anyway, we're gonna move on. So they're looking for a nanny for Porsha. And Porsha, her mama, her name is Miss Diane. Of course, we know that. She's been on all the seasons with Porsha, but she is making it a point for her to be in an interview process when Porsha goes to look for a nanny, because she knows Porsha is very picky and can be very overly protective. And she's not knocking it because she knows that's how she was when she was coming up with Porsha. So she knows Porsha's a lot like her. So the next scene, of course, we see Nene at the mailbox picking up a lot of mail. I don't know why they showed us that scene. The directors are shady. I don't think they here for Nene like she think they are. But anyway, so they show Nene at the mailbox, and then they show the rest of the girls getting ready for the Bailey Q. Of course, we know Nene is not invited, and the Bailey Q is basically a fat-ass potluck for all of them to come together and have a brawl, pretty much. So it looks like Kandi and Kenya meet up to go to the party together. Kandi comes to Kenya's house, and once she gets to her house, she noticed that there's a gift box on Kenya's table. And she pretty much asks Kenya what it is. And Kenya explains that, Eva did not want her kids to be around me because I give off bad energy, but she gave me a gift to give my daughter. I don't want my daughter to have this gift brought to you because I think you now have bad energy. So I'm going to re-gift this doll that you gave my daughter Brooklyn and give it to Porsha. Of course, Kandi laughs and thinks it's shady. I love Kandi laugh. But anyways, the next scene, we see Eva show up at the Bailey Q early and first because she doesn't have anything else to do. We know she didn't have jobs until she came around this circle. That's what Marlo said. That's not my words. Anyway, so basically when they get there, Cynthia's filling Eva in about how she had to explain to the girls not to bring their babies, and there was a lot of complication with that. So of course we know Kenya and Porsha are new moms, and they both are very anal about how they are with their child. So Porsha doesn't have, well, she does have a nanny at this point, but they are only 2 days in. She just hired a nanny 2 days ago, so she doesn't want to leave her baby alone with the nanny. So Cynthia finally agrees to allow Porsha to come with the baby. But because there was so much back and forth with Kenya already found the option, and she was good on bringing her baby to the baby queue. So Cynthia's explaining all of this information to Eva, and Eva, of course, already throws shade. She explains that they are old mothers and they are over the hill and things like that. And like I said, all this shade that Eva throws, it's going to come back to her, and she's going to be completely oblivious. And we're going to see it later on this episode if you already watched it. But anyway, so all the ladies, not all the ladies, but Porsha does bring her baby, but we'll get to that eventually when she comes, because right now at this point only Eva's there. And of course, side note, we know Cynthia only allowed the ladies to bring their baby because she did not want to have an issue with Kenya, and she did not want to have an issue with Porsha, and she did not want to have any additional animosity her way. So she decided to allow them to bring their kids. But of course, like I said, Kenya opted out. Porsha is eventually going to bring her baby. But anyways, everybody starts to arrive. And like I said, Cynthia did invite all of the girls that we see on the show. So Eva, of course, is there. Kenya and Kandi come. Shamia, who's Porsha's best friend, is there. Tanya, who was originally Nene's friend, but now she's Porsha's friend, she comes. Mallory also is there, who's Cynthia's sister. So it's pretty much a full house. Porsha's not there at this time. But when Kenya comes in the room, she does greet everybody, including Eva. Now, she walks past Eva, but it looks like Eva was reaching out for a hug. Now, I could be wrong. Somebody jump down in the comment section. Let me know, was Eva reaching out for a hug, or am I overthinking that this girl is super thirsty? Because I really don't fuck with her. But anyways, they all link up. Everybody's kind of filling each other in on what's going on there on the back patio. Candy's explaining that her daughter's in an internship in New York, blah, 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 blah. While they're talking, Ivana from Clark pulled up, and they all are pretty much having this conversation about, Kandi brings the conversation up as, did Marlo get invited to this shindig? And Cynthia explains that, yeah, I did invite Marlo because me and her met up in New York City when we was in World Pride Day. And we had lunch and drinks, and we were able to talk things out, and we are in a better place. Then we get Eva jumping in, and she was like, well, before we met up with Marlo, me and Cynthia saw an interview that Nene did where she was calling Cynthia weak and things like that. I think she even mentioned that she was calling us weak, which I didn't get the gist of that. I thought it was just Cynthia, but maybe we missed something that they didn't show on TV. But basically, Eva's explaining that Nene was trashing them. But while Eva's explaining this, Ivana for Clark jumps in the conversation, and she basically says she takes Nene's back, and she's being Nene's voice because she's not there. And she explains that Nene just feels that Cynthia was being more loyal to Kenya than she has been to Nene. And the only reason, like I mentioned in my last couple of videos, Nene has a problem with Cynthia because she's jealous of Kenya being back on the show and being around the circle, because she knows that Kenya can outshine her. She's more of a fan favorite when it comes to the two of them, Nene and Kenya. She knows Kenya has more of the spotlight. Nobody's really here for Nene like they were probably the first two seasons of this show. Kenya is just that girl, and Nene can see it a mile away. So she's using Cynthia as collateral damage, trying to have an issue, but there's really no issue. You cannot be mad that this girl invited her friend to come to her grand opening for her wine cellar. It just doesn't make sense. You're not that full of yourself. So of course Cynthia is not taking the bait. She's not going for that bullshit. And Ivana, of course, mentions how her and Cynthia met up at the wine cellar a couple of months ago, and Cynthia was trashing Nene, and Cynthia kind of stopped her and let her know, like, you can be the bone collector, but let her know what I said and how I said it. I'm not taking it back. So if you want to go back and repeat everything I say, go for it. But I ain't say nothing wrong. I told you the truth. So I'm here for Cynthia on that. So in the midst of all the drama, Porsha and her sister Lauren shows up with the baby, of course. Kenya goes outside to greet them because, you know, Kenya and Porsha are, like, becoming really close as friends. But really, Kenya wanted to give Porsha that gift that Eva gave her daughter Brooklyn. So Porsha, of course, Kenya gives the gift to Porsha to give her baby. And when Porsha opens the gift, she immediately recognized the gift is a gift of shade. And she declines getting the gift, and she tells Kenya that she needs to fix this issue that she has with Eva. And then Kenya's like, well, you got the information, so you fix it. So they kind of go back and forth. So eventually, of course, Porsha walks outside, and she tells Eva that Kenya regifted a doll that you gave Kenya to give her baby. And Eva is looking so lost. Kandi is laughing like she always sit back and collect a check and laugh at these silly girls. So she just sit there and laugh, and Eva, like I said, is looking lost. So Kenya comes out and she tells Eva, hey, I heard that you think I give bad energy. That's why you didn't want your kids around my at my party. So I don't want you to have to give me a gift. I'm gonna give your gift to somebody else. I don't need it. And everybody's like, Kenya doing too much. Like I said earlier, I would have did the same thing. I would have mailed the motherfucker back to your house with a voodoo stitch. Nah, let me stop. That's doing too much. But I would have mailed the motherfucker back to your house for sure. Especially if you're talking shit about me as a parent. Anywho, or how I can be around kids. Anyway, so yeah, I would feel some kind of way, kinda slightly, but yeah. So Eva, of course, backpedals and denies ever saying it, or she didn't apologize, but she kind of let them know that they got the story wrong, and she mentioned why Porsha was there and both Cynthia that they got the story wrong and y'all gave Kenya the wrong information. Of course, Kenya doesn't give a damn. She let the girl know that you don't want a problem with me. Eva's like vice versa. While they're going back and forth, Marlo shows up and in the midst of all the drama. So Kenya continues to take the floor and let Eva know that she's not the one to fuck with. And while Kenya is going back and forth with Eva, she tries to bring up some old drama between Cynthia and Eva, and it's really irrelevant, so I wasn't really here for that flashback shit, because Eva and Cynthia are at a better place. So even though they threw shade at each other when they first were getting to know each other, they are at a better place. When Cynthia and Kenya first met years ago, y'all were also shady toward each other, so you can't drag that old situation. Let's stay focused on the topic of discussion. So anyways, like I said, Marlo gets there. You know, Eva is not here for Marlo. As soon as Marlo gets there, Eva is looking all nervous, and she basically tells Marlo that she thinks Marlo is a mean girl, and Eva thinks that Eva is a fraud and a fake, and she's faking her lifestyle and all this thing. So she starts throwing all this shade toward Marlo. Marlo starts throwing all this shade toward Eva to the point where Eva gets up and leaves. Now, anybody know how to clear a room? It's got to be Marlo. She know how to make a motherfucker get up and feel uncomfortable. So Eva eventually leaves, and before she leaves, she throw a little shade toward Marlo, letting her know she ain't never been pregnant, so she don't know what kind of stress this can be for anybody. My voice going out because it's late as hell, and I just got off work. So, of course, Eva gets up and leaves. Cynthia walks her out, and then Cynthia comes back. And Marlo and Kandi are basically trying to get Cynthia together. They're just reminding Cynthia that she is pretty soft-spoken, and most of her friendships are with people that are more aggressive than her, like her friendship with Kandi. Her friendship with Kenya, her friendship with Nene, and now her friendship with Eva. She's always attached to the more dominant and aggressive person, and she's always laid back and soft-spoken. But Kenya takes up and defends Cynthia, and it explains to them that she's not this soft-spoken person that y'all making her out to be. And Ivana, of course, is shaking her head because she believes that Cynthia is a wolf in sheep's clothing. So, but Kenya's whole point is she wants everybody to understand that Cynthia is not a pushover like everybody thinks she is. And then Marlo and Kenya kind of have a moment. They're kind of going back and forth. Kenya tell her to be quiet while I'm talking, and Marlo's like, girl, you are not the boss of nobody. You don't run shit at your house, so you damn sure ain't finna come over here and run shit. So, of course, that was a jab about what's going on with her and Mark. But, so then the next thing, she basically let them know she's not the one to be fucked with, like I said, and she let them know that anybody at this table, she don't mind getting their ass together if necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because they ended that scene pretty much just like I just mentioned it. So the last scene, they are all inside pretty much. They're playing this game called the Shade Game or something like that, where they give awards to the best twerker, the best shade thrower, the best read. So Shamia gets best twerker, Marlo gets best shade, Kenya gets best read, and the next one, which gets really complicated, but they were trying to decide who's the thirstiest of all of them. And Marlo decides to say Tanya because that's what Nene feels. Ivana from Clark, she piggybacks up on Marlo's statement, and they really don't have no reason for why they call Tanya thirsty. It's just what they going based off of Nene follow the leader type shit. So Porsha goes in on Ivana and explains that she's the thirsty one, especially based off her Instagram. They show a little flashback of Ivana looking really thirsty on Instagram. And every time Ivana comes into their circle, she visibly shows that she, thirsty or want to be in a group. So she definitely deserves the thirst award. And I'm glad that Porsha was standing up for her friend Tanya. So Ivana gets the thirst award. And the last question is, who is the most insecure out of the group? So Marlo makes it a point to not give the award to no one, and because they all are women struggling with insecurities, they make it a point to go around everybody, identify some of the insecurities that they're currently struggling with. Everybody say little things. I can't remember nobody's statement until it got to Kenya. Kenya basically said the most authentic thing. And that's what I like about Kenya. She was saying she's insecure with finding unconditional love. And I love how transparent Kenya can be. Even though she's entertaining and gone with the wind, fabulous, she's also a huge open book. And she's not afraid to live in her truth. And, she's on the search for unconditional love. And she's not afraid to say it amongst these girls, knowing that they could basically throw it back in her face. So I commend Kenya for being honest. And Porsha just thought that Kenya was going to open up completely because they have already had the conversation. But Kenya was not ready for that. So after Kenya said her little spiel, Marlo took it upon herself and tried to end the night on a positive note. But they was not here for Marlo, just like I'm not. But this is basically my review of season 12, episode 5. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been at work 11 hours. My voice been going out throughout this video. So I want y'all to make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. All right. Bye.